الله الله أكبر.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحابته ومن والاه. Dear brothers and sisters, dear viewers from all parts of the world, your program Mimbar Nurr is the continuation of enlightenment, the continuation of inculcation of knowledge, continuation of spreading awareness about the core of reality, about the importance of understanding the religion, understanding the meaning of culture, understanding the key terminologies around which the worldview of Islam has revolved. For weeks now or months, Professor Dr. Omar Jah is engaging in this program, and today is going to be the continuation of a topic, very, very important topic that he started and he has been dealing with since weeks ago. But before we start our program, let me introduce my guest. This is Professor Dr. Omar Jah. He's a well-known scholar, an international renowned scholar with a high caliber, who speaks a number of languages, Arabic, English, and French, graduated from Cairo, continued his PhD in McGill University a long time ago, and worked as a professor in many universities in Saudi Arabia, in Malaysia, and worked as an ambassador for the Gambia, also in Saudi Arabia, accredited to many countries. Since his retirement, he's back home and now engaging in community development and services. He has done a lot, including having a foundation, the Abdullah Foundation, that has rendered a lot of service in healthcare in the Gambia. Thousands of people from the far in the Gambia have benefited from the service of Sheikh Abdullah Charitable Foundation. And behind us, the mosque, Masjid al-Taqwa, also is part of the endeavors of his and the family and all Muslims. And Professor Omar Jah is well-known in the Arab world as well as all over the place. And this program has been going on for a long time. And the topic that we are dealing with today is about secular materialism. We know now, today in the Gambia, is very timely and apt to discuss about this issue because of misunderstanding, misgivings, misconceptions that is prevailing even among the intellectuals, many of whom do not even know the meaning of the word. But is it a cancer that is really ruining, as the cancer is doing against the physical body of humankind? Secular materialism is a cancer also ruining the spiritual development of the Gambians and Muslims at large. Professor Jah, welcome to the program once again. And since you started secular materialism and the importance of the intellectuals in the Gambia and the intelligentsia knowing exactly the dangers and the perils of this cancer, maybe we'll just allow you to move ahead on this particular issue. Then we also come to our next question. Welcome.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Viewers and people who are listening to us and seeing us for the first time delivering these lectures in English, it is not because we've not been discussing it in Wolof, but I think we would like to communicate with the whole world, not only in Gambia, but in Africa, in the whole world, And there are a number of people who don't speak the local language we have been using now. Thank you very much, Omar, for this introduction. And I think it is very opportune that we engage ourselves in intellectual, enlightened discussion to discuss issues that affect us, which many people don't seem to understand it. And I'm very happy you use cancer. What cancer does in human body is what secular materialism does in human society.
Yeah.
So since we know cancer, the origin of cancer is very simple. I was talking to Dr. Abu Bakr the other day. He told me cancer is nothing but the cells, the multi-cell that compose our body. Each cell has a function, and if one of the cells fails, collapse, if it is not removed, it will affect the other cells. It goes on until many of the cells collapse, don't do their job. This is cancer. From a medical point of view, this is what he told me. And I know very well, we are going to discuss it later, that our body, the organs in our body, every organ is composed of multi-cell organism. The heart, the kidney, the lung. Abu Bakr told me that every organ has a number of cells to function. If one of them or two of them collapse, that organ itself will not be functional. So in society, it is our organizations, our plans, our concept, our understanding to lay down the system that functional, that is functional. If one part of these organs suffer from any dysfunctionality, it would affect the whole body. To go now to the topic, we have been discussing it very well, and I think many people have an idea about what secular materialism means. Secular, in a nutshell, the definition of secularism as one person, German scholars who occupy the chair of philosophy in University of Leiden was commissioned by the church. When the idea was spread throughout the world, starting from what we call the Vienna Circle, and I think, Omar, you are very aware of Vienna Circle. Vienna Circle are the intellectuals who ponder on the whole concept of religious activities, especially the dogma in the Christian church and the scripture itself. And they, through the Enlightenment period, which led European intellectual to the period of scientific revolution, down to industrial revolution, they have a difficulty to understand that in Christian church, of course, there is a concept of God. Concept, believing God appears in supernatural human being. Dogmatic consideration, that's constituted probably with scientists. Secondly, there was a methodology. It affected the scripture itself. But this is not a topic I can divulge in because I am not qualified to talk about. But this is what really triggers the minds of intellectuals to think over the things, and then through their scientific discovery, they find out that religion itself, as it is presented to them, as it is practiced, cannot go with the scientific revolution. So they decide to commission one of the intellectual philosophers, one person, a German, who occupied the chair of philosophy in University of Leiden. They asked him to define what secularism means. He said it's a deliverance man from force from religious and metaphysical control over his reason and language. This definition gives you the idea that secular aims at divorcing man, his language, his reason, his activity from anything called religion. So secular means a drive and an intellectual, philosophical program that will separate man, his mind, his reason, his language from religion, and the metaphysical control over himself. Metaphysical control, of course, is very important for us in Muslims.
Yes.
Because metaphysical control, metaphysics, is something is called in Arabic ghaibiyat, is unseen reality. If you free mind, human mind, from believing in unseen reality, in ghaibiyat, so you are teaching him to free himself from God, Allah, is the Mabdal Iman, the principle of Iman, which is believing in Allah, Malaikatihi, Kutubihi, Rusulihi, wa bil akhir, Qadri, Ghairi, wa Sharri. These are unseen reality. The secular try to free you, separate you completely from Allah. And we believe that Allah himself, whatever you, how you define it, we believe that Allah is the one who created the world. If you separate human being from his creator, means that you are destroying without really. When we go to materialism, materialism is the crux of the matter. People define matter wrongly. They define matter as an element which is indestructible. It's there, but it's going to be there forever. Will not be destroyed. Here we have a problem. The problem is that the material world we live in now is inchangeable, and what exists today may not exist tomorrow. There was time it doesn't exist, and the other time will come, it will go. So if you tell me matter is destructible, you are really making a great scientific mistake. That is why I think if we define secular materialism, of course materialism, from a practical point of view, not only they define wrongly, but the matter is what we live in. We are part of matter. You, myself, we are part of matter. This tree is growing, is a part of matter. The earth we're living on is a matter. The sky, heavens above us is matter. So what is matter? But matter from a sociological, economic, political point of view is materialism is defined as individualism, utilitarian, and consumerism. These are elements that we live in now. And the people, when they've been divorced, separated from Allah himself, they take materialism as their own God. It is a material development now, in all aspects.
In fact, there are people who define society with capital S, because it's a God now. Yes, it's a God now.
And that is materialism we are referring when we talk secular materialism. If materialism become your God, secularism separated from real God, and then you are living under the aegis, under the power, under the direction of secular materialism.
Thank you very much. It seems to me now the idea of divorcing Allah, at least God, from reality is something that Shaitan, from the beginning, was designing. And it seems to me now, even the claim, those scientists that now talk to the religious people then, the Christian church, and overreacted to what the Christian church did. I think they were just happy finding church doing that.
Exactly.
Because it was in themselves. And I can understand from your very informative introduction now that sometimes even in Islam, when you don't understand your religion itself, the lack of understanding of religion, like it happened in the Christian church, it is sometimes happening in Islam, a lack of deep understanding of your religion will push you to the extreme and also give the other extreme also justification to really spread what is a very false and falsified
Exactly.
So now you have talked about them very attached to matter, and they don't know now that there are only two things. There is Allah and other than Allah. Other than Allah is time, space, and matter. Time, space, and matter are created. Time is created, matter is created, space is created.
And these are the characteristics of matter.
And these are the characteristics of matter.
Time, space, volume.
You see? And now if you want to divorce this from the origin, its origin, which is Allah, then you just want to create someone who is vulnerable, somebody who can be hijacked, who can be hypnotized, who can be enslaved, because they don't have origin to go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Exactly.
Then which means now your discussion of secular materialism as a form of cancer, and I'm very happy that you give a metaphor of the human body, the physical body as understood and exposed to you by Abu Bakr, as well as the composition of our society.
Exactly.
Because every cell of the society is interconnected and interdependent with the others.
Exactly.
And this is why it is very important now every individual in the Muslim society understand what secularism means, because once you are corrupted, you are also contagious. Contagious to the other. You are also contagious to the other. Now, this leads me now to asking you, now if they try to divorce matter and space and time from Allah, and we know now matter cannot exist, and they talk about that matter, that it keep going, and nothing can destroy it. And if you now want to divorce time, space, and matter from Allah, then how do we now connect Allahu Nurr Samawati wal Ard? Allahu Nurr Samawati wal Ard, which is Allah manifesting itself
it's about us.
So then how can we live?
Now, it is very important, Omar, that you ask me this question, and a very relevant question that we have discussed it before in Wolof. But let me go back to try to explain it in detail in the language that perhaps is intellectual. We are not addressing ourselves now to individual, illiterate or unsophisticated man, because this is the weakness that secular materialistic philosophy use to mislead the people,
To hijack the
population. Yes. Muhammad Mahdi, as you know yourself, we live with him in Malaysia.
Yes.
And you know him personally.
Yes.
And I work with him very closely.
Yes.
He wrote a book called Unified Theory of Existence. Unified Theory of Existence means a theory which is unified about what existence is. There is existence, capital E, which involves everything that exists. But that existence, in its absolute reality, belongs to Allah only. subhanahu wa ta'ala. Existence is Allah. Muhammad Hafiz Tijani defined Allah's position as an existence which is absolute. He say, infiraduhu bil wujud al mutlaq huwa Allah.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Infiraduhu bil wujud al mutlaq huwa Allah. Everything in existence has a share in the existence. But you who are uniquely, lonely, defined as a perfect, absolute existence is Allah.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Muhammad Mahdi, in his book, Unified Source of Existence, tell us that matter originates from light. I'm very happy you mentioned Allahu Nurr Samawati wal Ardh. Many people read Allahu Nurr Samawati wal Ardh. If you ask them, what does it mean? You know, Allah himself is the light of Samawati wal Ardh. Allah, in his absolute, unique existence, has nothing to do with matter. But if you believe that matter, light is the origin of matter, I asked Muhammad Mahdi through his reading, through his writing. He told me, matter, the definition of matter really is nothing but light slowed down. He said me light in its absolute extent in the speed is nothing but light. If Allah, if light itself is the origin of matter, is that matter originate from light?
Yes.
Light slow down. You have some element that have been produced as light slow down. But light itself, when it slow down, he tell me it's a subatomic particle. Subatomic particle, they are to constitute an element of atom. Atom itself multiply. We don't know how the multiplication came. But anyway, in reality, we know that atom, when they multiply atom, you have a result of molecule, molecular structure. In molecule, in its development, you have amino acid. Amino acid, you have protein. Protein is the building structure of single cell materialism. Single cell materialism is the beginning of multi-cell materialism, which is the matter we are living in.
Beautiful.
Yourself, you are part of multi-cell materialism. This building is a multi-cell materialism. 3, multi-cell materialism. But the beauty of understanding this as Allahu Nurr Samawati wal Ardh, I will take you again to another Muslim scholar who try to explain it scientifically. It's no, Badiou Zaman Nursi. Badiou Zaman Nursi has what we call Rasailul Nursi. That is the Rasailul Nursi.
The Turkish
Rasail means epistle of Nursi. He say, if you go try to take a tour, he say, Qut siyaha, take a tour in cosmos, in celestial matter and terrestrial matter. If you go to celestial and terrestrial matter, he say, in this Rasail, what you see in nature itself, this cosmos, you see nizam and insijam, and you see beauty and mizan, and you see rahma,
mercy,
rahma, and adala, and you see haymana and rafa. Let me now try to bring this into English. When you go into cosmos, take us to the cosmos. Terrestrial element in which we live in, a celestial element of the world. You say what you see is order and harmony, which is al-mizan. We had nizam al-nizam. Daga see order and harmony, and daga see beauty and equilibrium.
Yes.
Wow. The first thing you see is order and harmony. And then you see beauty, equilibrium. And then you see mercy and adala, justice. And you see communicability and munificence.
Very good.
These are the attributes you see when you take a tour in terrestrial world or celestial world. He says beauty, harmony, order and harmony, beauty, equilibrium, mercy and justice, dominicability and munificence. These are attributes you observe, but these are mirrors to show you the reality in which this exists. This does not belong. They do not belong to celestial world. You see, there is a reality which these things exist in perfection and absoluteness. How do you identify that reality? To us, it's Qudratullah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Isn't matter is a development, transmission of light from its absolute speed, which is light, which Allah manifests Himself in the sky and the earth. Allah Nurr samawati wal ardi means that Malakut samawati wal ardi, the heavens and the earth manifest the light of Allah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And we go further to say that light energy, of course, as you know, Omar, very well, is the what drives the world,
Yes.
what upholds the world.
Yes.
What exists is stationed, and what is floating is derived, controlled by light energy.
Yes.
It's a light energy. Scientifically,
Yes.
it's Allah Himself.
Yes. Thank you very much, Excellency. I think you have touched a very important point. You have discussed a very deep intellectual like Muhammad Mahdi, and our meetings with him in the past has really taught us a lot.
Exactly.
And when he told me one day, look, Omar, I said, yes, the way you can understand it, he said, if you take this table, he said, when you look at the table, as you understand matter, the table is matter. You see the table with four corners. He said, but if you take this table and throw it with a big force, and it goes to the speed of light, this very table becomes everywhere at all times.
Exactly.
Because it becomes light.
Yes.
Anything that goes at the speed of light becomes at all times, anywhere.
It's transmitted
It's transmitting.
to light.
Yeah, to light.
To its origin.
Yes. Meaning now, this particular table that you see very hard, the moment you throw it and it goes to the speed of light, then it turns into light and it is everywhere at all times.
And the light, Omar,
Yes.
Muhammad Mahdi identified this world as dynamic. It's a dynamic, inseparable energy pattern. Everything is connected with everything. What really holds in everything is light. This is the light of God. Dynamic energy of inseparable energy pattern. So, if we don't be aided by the light of Allah, we will not see how Allah manifests himself in the material
In
world.
fact, you don't exist. In the
Exactly.
first place, you don't exist.
Exactly.
Okay. Secondly, your point on when you talk about Nursi is also important. It occurs to me when Allah says, Ar-Rahmanu allama al-Quran. Khalaqa al-insan
Allamahu al-bayan.
as-samsu wal-qamaru
Bihusban.
والنجم والشجر
Yes, you do.
والسماء رفعها
يا
ووضع
للميزان.
الميزان ألا تطغوا
في الميزان.
You see, the celestial bodies, they are so in harmony that if you want your life to be in harmony like that, look at them. الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان الشمس والقمر بحسبان. Harmony. والنجم والشجر
Yes, you do.
والسماء
Harmony.
رفعها ووضع
Good
الميزان
الميزان.
ألا تطغوا
في الميزان.
So then, if you want your life to be meaningful, if you want your life to be resourceful, you really have to attach to metaphysics.
Exactly.
To metaphysics.
This metaphysics, if you go to pillars of Islam are four. Islam, Iman, Ihsan, Marifat al-Abdar. Islam is an action. But what matters is Iman. What Iman is metaphysics.
Yes.
If you don't metaphysics, you don't know Allah himself. Allah is the reality which you cannot see, you cannot touch. But the philosophers, because of their ignorance, they say any reality can only be established by verification. You have to verify by your reason and experience. They don't recognize a reality as a reality unless you subject it to the verification of your reason. Reason, Omar. Everybody has his reason. If reason is not guided by revelation, the reason will come down to exactly what Iblis requested from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he refused to obey his own injunction, his own instructions, Sujud Adam. Allah doesn't mean you prostrate for Adam. No. Allah wouldn't allow anybody to prostrate for anybody. But I recognize, understand, listen, the secret I gave him so that you will benefit. Iblis said, Fabi Izzatika. Translate that in English.
By your power.
By your command, by your power. Yes.
Yes. You see?
Illa ibadaka.
Al-Mukhlasin.
Mukhlasin. What's Mukhlasin?
No, Al-Mukhlasin.
Let the people understand Mukhlasin and Mukhlasin are not the same.
They are not the same.
They did.
Illa ibadaka minhum al-Mukhlasin.
They are the guided people.
Guided people.
You have to be guided. Those who are guided people, Iblis has no way on them. So the point that Allah tells us, and in fact, Muhammad Mahdi, I forgot his name, his Christian name, his name was also Muhammad Mahdi.
No, his name is a Christian name. In fact, I got his name last year too. When I was in America, I Googled, his theory of unified theory. When you Google it, you will find it. His Christian name.
Oh,
yes.
And it is in his name, Muslim name.
Yeah.
He adopted this Muslim as Muhammad Mahdi when he read Allahu Nurr samawati wal ardi. You see, he's an astrophysicist, but he could not understand the system. And then he read Allahu Nurr samawati wal ardi. And the whole thing boiled down to the things that when Allah reduced the speed of light, then matter came into existence. And the matter, as all scientists agree, it started from subatomic particle to atom.
To atoms.
Amino acid to molecule, and then you come to protein. And the protein is the building structure of single cell materialism.
That is why, Uncle, now even those that are invoking secularism, what they don't understand now is that even scientism in the past, modern science already collapsed.
Yes.
Because since the split of atom, because before the split of atom, scientists believed that they had control over existence.
Exactly.
But they believe now, since everything composed of atom, me and you and everything, and then they thought they had a monopoly of atom. Its property, its movement. They thought now they had the right to exclude religion from discovering the truth.
Exactly.
After the split of atom in the 60s.
Exactly.
Now the subatomic particle became so unmanageable. Now they themselves now confused. That is why now they are now living what we call the era of construction, deconstructionism. Now I think this is what they have to understand now. Even the evidence now they are producing, all this argument that they are producing is already gone. Why? Because the era of scientism has already gone. Exactly. Now we are in quantum physics, quantum mechanics, where the subatomic particles cannot be controlled even by the scientists.
No.
Then religion is telling the truth.
Even Omar, the question of light slow down. One of the professors from Nigeria told me, it is that I understand how light energy works. You take it from here, you go down there. It's the same. It's light manifesting itself in different forms. Exactly. That is why I would diverge before your next question to explain. One thing I try to explain. You know, you live with me in Istak. And we live with Muhammad Naqib al-Azaz. One of the genius character I can discover from him. He say, in Quran I say, knowledge itself, if not proper, can lead you to destruction. And he defined proper knowledge as a recognition, acknowledgement of proper place of things in the order of creation. Recognition, acknowledgement of a proper place in the order of creation. And then,
proper place.
So as you go now,
Yes.
Beyond creation, and I think the question of creationism, the doctrine of creation, I think we will have time to discuss it later.
Yes, it will be very important.
Because it was Abu Hamid al-Ghazali who discovered that what is the problem in the Western methodology, Western scientific, the problem is the causality. It's cornerstone of the Western scientific development. And the cornerstone of the development is causality. Abu Hamid rejected it. There's no causality, there's the creation. He said causality is an alien idea imposed on human mind to avoid impossibility of infinite regression.
Yes. Yes.
Causality is an alien idea imposed on human mind to avoid impossibility of infinite regression. What happened? Things are being created. Matter does not exist by itself.
No. Because the problem of shaitan and the tactfulness of Satan is whenever there is a vacuum, whenever there is no hidayah,
it can
they
be
will hijack human mind.
Exactly.
Because now, if they agree on creation, they will be responsible to a creator.
Exactly.
But if it is caused, then they are not responsible.
No.
That's why.
And when they are corners, when they ask,
Yes.
this causality itself,
Yes.
they want to avoid
Yes.
infinite regression,
Yes.
impossibility of infinite regression.
Yes.
They say, oh, it's on cost to cost.
Yes. Yes.
On cost, double cost.
Yeah, because there's no cost. So which leads into a very stupid idea that is very difficult to defend. Now, before we go to maybe time, I would this explanation must have something with culture. Today, even the definition of culture is becoming problematic.
Very problematic.
Many people, especially the sociologists, those that are very much attached to August Comte, that look at culture as a god, meaning our own creation, our own experience, come to hunt us down.
Exactly.
We experience, and our experience hunt us down. And if we misunderstand or don't understand also the meaning of culture, it's going to be very difficult also to really live our religion as it is. So can you dilate a little bit?
In fact, Omar, thank you very much for this question. I have been thinking of it very many long time. According to sociologists, anthropologists, culture is a totality of human action, starting from his own behavior, from his own conscious experience. This includes his religion, social norm, customs, traditions, and arts in different ways, the liberal arts, especially liberal arts, or fine arts, especially fine arts. And in non-Islamic society, especially in Africa, it involves human sacrifice. This is what religion, what culture is. And the culture is a created environment to conduct his life. I was thinking of Islam, but I find out the definition of Islam which I'm really comfortable with. Culture is a acquired practical knowledge, guided by normative principle, guided by normative principle, laid down in Aqidah and practice in Sharia.
It's the Islamic culture.
This Islamic culture is an acquired practical knowledge, guided by normative principle, laid down in Aqidah and accomplished in Sharia.
Good definition.
If you take these appear, manifest itself in human behavior when dealing with himself as a Muslim, with the Creator as the Creator, and with his fellow being, especially human being, as people, as ikhwa. This is what really meaning of culture in Islam.
That is very good. I think if that is applied,
it
can really correct a lot of misunderstanding.
Exactly.
Because they are telling me now we are very close to ending, but I think, as we said, because when you look at the sociologist and anthropologist in the West, especially like Max Weber, when they talk about culture being the totality of human experience, including religion, the danger there is that then religion also is a human experience. And this is why
it's a part of culture.
Part of culture. Yes. Religion is a part of culture, and culture is our experience. Meaning, you have the total authority to drop what you want and to take what you want.
Exactly.
And this is where the dangers come. But in your definition, religion is built on Aqidah.
Culture is built on religion.
Yes, it's built on religion. So it's not part of it. It's not part of it, but its foundation, it is founded.
It's founded. It's a practical, it's an acquired practical knowledge.
Acquired practical knowledge.
Acquired practical knowledge means Al-Quran.
Yes, in the normative
principle.
Yes.
Laid down in Aqidah. And expounded
in Sharia.
Expounded in Sharia.
So this means that you like in the West, that is why for them, when people agree to go to the beach naked, it becomes a law. Why? Because it is their experience, and they have the right to choose whatever, because there is no guidance, there's no there is nothing protecting them from doing whatever they want and turning it into law.
And it is the culture they created by themselves.
By themselves. So I think it seems now that we have been informed now that the time is up. So with that, I would like to thank Professor Dr. Omar Jah for this informative talk, and we have really discussed a number of points, beginning from the meaning of secular materialism, going also to, for example, Allahu Nurr Samawati wal Ard, the importance of light, and also the fact that matter is nothing but light slowed down, and that is evidence in the fact that when you have this chair and you throw it with a power that help this chair to go in the speed of light, this particular chair does not, it is becoming light too.
It goes to its origin.
To its origin. And thirdly, you also discussed about culture and the dangers of the misconception in culture and its negative impact on the society. And if we are to recreate our society to reflect the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the teachings of Islam, we have to recreate that definition that is going to be a fountainhead from the light of the Prophet Muhammad, from Quran and from Aqidah. So I think these are the very important points that we can deduce from your discussion, and we thank the viewers and we thank our listeners and give you another appointment, inshallah.
Next week.
Yes, next week.
We'll continue this.
We will continue, inshallah, on culture especially. And this is your brother, Dr. Omar Jah Jr., was hosting Professor Omar Jah Senior. We thank you all for your attention and see you next week. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar.
Sama téléphone bàyyi ma ko fi.
Ma nga fa nga doon julle.
Am na xale yi ko la. Waaye ja.
Na.
Yow xanaa sa nopp yi neexul. Sama téléphone bi nekk ci biir néeg bi di ring yow mun loo koo dégg sax.
Ba xam nga man damay risif sa ko.
Ñaari miss call laa gis yëpp international.
Bu yow ni jaay ku la war a call international.
Mu ngi nii de, di gis bokk.
50 ak 51. Lii mooy international.
Lii de international.